The storm had already passed, but the weight in my chest felt heavier than any thundercloud. I stood at the old countryside gate, the framed photograph trembling slightly in my hands. For weeks I had been searching, asking strangers, following leads that faded like footprints in the rain. And now, standing in front of a woman who looked at me with a strange mix of warmth and sorrow, I finally found the courage to speak. I said, "The girl in the photo is my fiancée." The woman's eyes softened, but her smile fell into a shadow. She took a slow breath and whispered, "I miss her very much." In that moment, the world seemed to tilt, as if reality had been hiding something from me all along. Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love that refuses to die, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps bring more stories like this to life. Her reply struck me harder than any truth I'd been preparing myself for. For 6 months, I had lived with the hollow ache of losing Elena. My fiancée, my future, my compass. She had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only the mystery of a final message on my phone that simply said, "I need time." No explanation, no clue, just silence. And so, like a man walking through fog, I spent each day in a haze of unanswered questions. But something about this countryside house, this woman, this moment, it felt like the fog was finally lifting. She stepped closer, opening the gate as if inviting me into a world frozen in memories. Her voice was calm but weighted with emotion as she explained that she knew Elena, but not in the way I expected. She said Elena had come here months ago, broken, lost, and carrying a pain she couldn't put into words. The woman introduced herself as Mara, the owner of the small ranch. She described how Elena had spent days sitting by the lake behind the house, sketching the water, watching the birds, and trying to breathe again. Every word Mara spoke felt like stitching and tearing at the same time. I felt comfort that Elena had found refuge, but agony that she had endured it alone. As Mara led me around the property, the quiet countryside whispered all the things Elena never told me. The wooden cabin smelled like pine and warm earth. The breeze carried the scent of rain and grass. Sunlight filtered through the trees, casting soft shadows where Elena once walked. I imagined her steps, her quiet tears, her attempts to find clarity in a world that felt too heavy for her. Mara said she had tried to talk to her, tried to help her make sense of the storm in her heart, but Elena was torn between the love she felt for me and the fear that she wasn't enough for my future. Hearing those words broke me in ways I didn't expect. I always saw Elena as strong, creative, full of hope. But Mara revealed a different side, one she had hidden even from me. She had been carrying a weight of self-doubt, buried beneath her bright smile. She didn't leave because she didn't love me. She left because she felt she was holding me back from the life she thought I deserved. The realization sank into my bones, cold and sharp. I wished I could have wrapped her in every truth she needed, that she was enough, that her love was my anchor, that her presence alone gave my life purpose. We stopped near the lake. The water was still, reflecting the sky like a soft mirror. Mara pointed at a wooden bench, saying Elena had spent hours there. The bench still held traces of her, a scarf she left behind, a sketchbook tucked beneath the seat. My hands trembled as I opened it. Page after page held drawings of me, my smile, my eyes, the way I cradled her face when she was sad. Each sketch was filled with longing, regret, and love. It felt like she was right beside me again, whispering apologies she never had the courage to voice. Mara placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. She told me Elena had spoken often about returning home, about gathering. The strength to face me and explain everything. She wanted to rewrite the end of our story, to find her way back. But before she could, life intervened. Mara said she got a call weeks later from Elena, who was crying, saying she was ready to return. But that was the last time they spoke. I felt my heart drop, but Mara quickly explained that Elena wasn't gone. She had simply vanished again, this time not out of fear, but because she was traveling, working on herself, seeking healing. She had contacted Mara recently, saying she would soon come back to the ranch to retrieve her things. She had hoped I would forgive her. I sank onto the bench, clutching the sketchbook. My emotions turned into waves, rising, collapsing, rising again. Mara sat beside me quietly, letting the heaviness settle without forcing comfort. She admitted she missed Elena deeply, not just as a guest but as a friend she had grown to love. Someone who told stories through her drawings, laughed softly at the cows wandering too close, and cried when the sunsets reminded her of me. Mara said she believed Elena disappeared again not to run away, but to find the courage to return whole. For the first time in months, hope flickered inside me, fragile but alive. I realized that love wasn't always about holding someone close. Sometimes it was about giving them space to find themselves, even when that space felt like an eternity of ache. Mara encouraged me to keep believing, to trust Elena's heart even when her steps were unpredictable. The day faded into dusk, and the ranch lights warmed the quiet evening. Before I left, Mara handed me the framed photo I had brought and softly said, "She carries this inside her heart, wherever she goes." I drove home with a strange peace settling over me, not certainty but possibility, a belief that love, even when lost, can still guide two hearts back to each other. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep creating emotional and meaningful stories. Special request, comment below. Do you believe true love can find its way back, no matter how far it drifts?